Hello, I'm Tara Gadomski. I'm an actor and filmmaker and the creator of New Citizen of the Old Country. That's a blog which I detail my journey to becoming a dual US and Hungarian citizen. I was born in the US, but I have Hungarian ancestry, so I did the simplified naturalization process to become a dual citizen. It was a long process. It was a lot of ups and downs. So my blog covers that and also other articles about old country culture and ancestry. So I hope that you will go take a look. Again, it's New Citizen of the Old Country. But there on the blog, I did a 10-part series that I wrote about the exact steps I took to get dual citizenship because it was a long journey and I had a lot of ups and downs. So I'm hoping some of my tips and tricks can help other people who are on this journey. Or it might just interest you because you're interested in this topic of dual citizenship. So I wrote that on my blog and thought I would put it here on YouTube videos and podcasts in case you're listening to reach more people who are interested in this topic. So if you are also on the journey to dual citizenship, hopefully this will help and you may just be interested in the story. Either way, let me know. So you can hear or see parts 1, 2, and 3 before this video. And this is part 4 of my journey to Hungarian citizenship. And I'm going to read my blog post here. This is how I attempted and failed to submit perfect documents with my Hungarian citizenship application. So along with the certified copy of Anya Solyak's, my great-grandmother's, Hungarian birth record, you can hear or see how I got it in part 1 of this series. Along with that, I also needed to submit certified and translated birth and marriage records linking me to her. And that seemed like it would be a simple process. I'm very lucky that all my direct ancestors were married in Lackawanna County in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania. That's also where I was born, yay Scranton. And a relative had already done some research and put my great-grandparents' marriage record in the online genealogy databases, so I knew it existed. But, as it is with ancestors from the old country, the paperwork trail was not as clean as I would have liked. Over the years, my great-grandmother's last name morphed from Solyak to a more Americanized Salak. Luckily, her marriage certificate was in her original old country name. However, and what is still a mystery to me, her marriage record showed an incorrect age for her. Now, this must have been down to her inability to speak English at the time she was married, and perhaps a harried or disinterested court clerk processing her paperwork. The inconsistencies made me nervous because I wanted a clean paper trail when submitting my citizenship application. So while we were still in the throes of the COVID pandemic and wearing masks everywhere, I took a trip to the Orphans Court in Scranton, PA, with my application for my ancestors' marriage records and the required fees, and a lot of hope. Now, an aside, you may be thinking the same thing I did. Orphans Court seems like a strange place for marriage records to be stored. I found out that this branch of the court system was set up to handle estates of deceased people and guardianship of any minor children. Marriage records can be an important part of determining this. Now, if you are a legal or historian buff and want to read more, there's a paper I will link below, which is a brief history of the Pennsylvania Orphans Court. It is very interesting and useful. So back to the story. The people who work at the Orphans Court in Scranton could not have been nicer. They were genuinely interested in my Hungarian citizenship process and wanted to help however they could, which started a week-and-a-half roller coaster of hope and disappointment for me. At first, it seemed like it would be a simple process to correct my great-grandmother's marriage record. The clerks in the marriage bureau asked me to return with proof of my great-grandmother's correct age, so I did the next day. Unfortunately, I was then told I would need a certified English language translation of my great-grandmother's Hungarian birth certificate. I tried to give them an informal translation there on the spot. After all, I'd been studying Hungarian and knew every word on her birth record, but of course they needed something official. So I went away, I quickly found a translator in the US who promised to get me a notarized translation within days, and she did. I took that document back to the Orphans Court and submitted it to a clerk. Unfortunately, the next day, I phoned the clerk and she told me that it was not possible to change my great-grandmother's marriage record in their office, but that I could try getting a lawyer and petitioning the court. So I gave up on this strategy and decided instead to submit a written letter with my citizenship application explaining this discrepancy on my great-grandmother's marriage record and hoped that the authorities in Hungary would understand that complications that old country immigrants to the U.S. faced when dealing with paperwork. Spoiler alert, the letter worked. The letter that I submitted with my citizenship application was just one of the many extra steps I took on my journey. Getting Hungarian citizenship was a process and an honor that I didn't take lightly, so I did everything I could to make it happen. In my next blog post, I'll outline how I went the extra mile or kilometer and then some on my path to dual citizenship. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, connect with me on New Citizen of the Old Country blog or on my Patreon group, which is New Citizen of the Old Country Book and Film Club, where we read books and watch films from Hungary and the Transcarpathian region and discuss them each month. So please connect with me. Let me know if you are on this journey as well and if I can answer any questions. Thanks, and stay tuned for part 5.